I'm going to say that the number of apples that I have is A and the number of pears that I have is P. So at the start of the day, I have 3 times as many apples as pears. And that means that A is equal to 3P. By the end of the day, after eating 5 apples, so that means I'm going to have A minus 5 left, but no pears. I had twice as many pears as apples. Twice as many pears as apples. So actually, that means I need to times this by 2. Okay, let's just backtrack and check that's okay. So at the start of the day, I had 3 times as many apples as pears. If I had 2 pears, I'd have 6 apples. That checks out. By the end of the day, after eating 5 apples, so I need to subtract 5 from it, but no pears, I had twice as many pears. So yeah, that checks out as well because I'm going to have, if I had, 2 left here, I'd have 4 pears. All right, how many pieces of fruit did I have at the start of the day? Well, what I can do essentially is because I've got the number of apples here and the number of apples here, I can just replace this by 3p. So it's going to be 2 times 3p minus 5 is equal to p. And now I've got an equation to solve. I can expand the bracket. 6p minus 10 is equal to p. That's going to mean that 5p minus 10 is equal to 0. So 5p is equal to 10 and p is equal to 2. From that, I can see, so that was at the start of the day, and then A is going to be 6. So overall, I had 8 pieces of fruit at the start of the day. Now, perhaps I've overcomplicated this because if you look at the answers, you can see they don't even introduce A and P. They just use X. So they say, right, I've got X apples, and then um, sorry, I've actually got 3X apples, and I've got X pears at the start of the day. So then if I take my apples and I subtract, um, how many do I eat? I eat 5 of them. Then I have twice as many pears because I've not eaten any of them, so I can create that equation. And essentially, I've created the same equation. I've just avoided using A and P. I don't know. I quite like the way I've done it, but I see the advantage of this because technically I've done a substitution into a simultaneous equation here, which is a bit, harder to understand. So, this one works, but in the same case, we get the answers we would get. So we just have to be aware that we'd get X. We'd have to solve for X, and then you would just find out what 4X is. So when you get X is equal to 2 as before, then 4X would equal 8. Okay, hopefully you're happy with or both of those methods, but at least one.